Hello viewers, and welcome back to my channel, MAsdevallia Orchids. Well, we've had an amazing summer so far. Unfortunately, the gardens have suffered, we've had an hosepipe ban, we've had very little rain, and my MAsdevallias have struggled a bit. So in today's video, I want to show you some of the damage caused by the heat, and I want to show you some of the new equipment I've bought. A piece of equipment that's been given to me, or gifted if you want to say, and we'll have a look at the MAsdevallias. I'll show you around them. But firstly, let's just have a look at some of the damage that's been caused through the heat. Right, Strepia tricroglossa. I'm sure you can see that frazzled. I kept these on the lowest shelf. I moved all my MAsdevallias onto the ground on the bottom shelf. I couldn't compete with the humidity. I used 2 of the small ram foggers. I had 3 fans working throughout the day and night, and that's what's happened to that, so I couldn't prevent that. Another one, Stelis Strepioides. Again, another plant perished because of the heat. And I was even misting as well during the day to try to prevent this sort of damage. Like this is an Enignia. You can see the scorched leaves, terrible leaves. Even it was coming into spike with a bloom, and it's blasted. I'll be able to bring that plant back, but I've got to get the humidity right in this greenhouse at the moment. I've got a couple more to show you. Ralphiana, a lovely little MAsdevallia when it's in bloom, but unfortunately again scorched, dried out. But if you can see in there, new growth. Since I've increased my humidity, everything's picking back up. Just a couple more to show you. This is a Shane White, it's a hybrid. Nice little plant, but if you see, notice, blasted spike, blasted spike. Humidity was too low for a long period of time, and I've struggled. Again, I've got a small division that I took a few weeks ago, Smith's Mummy Eye. I repotted the larger plant and the small one. The heat's got to it, so I decided I've got to do drastic changes to get the humidity and to get this greenhouse cooler. And I want to apologise firstly, because I've decided when I'm doing any filming in this greenhouse now, if the fans are on and the foggers are on, I'm not turning them off, because it's so easy to do your filming, go back in the house, edit your film, upload your film, and you forgot to switch the equipment back on. And I certainly can't afford for this greenhouse to be without any humidity or them fans running at this moment in time. So let me get the camera down, we'll have a look at the MAsdevallias, then I'll show you the equipment that I've installed, and hopefully will now improve this growing environment for mixed MAsdevallia orchids. So let's have a look. Well, as you can see at the moment, the sun's beating down on the greenhouse again. Everything's working, the fans and the foggers. And if you look at some of these plants, they're not doing too bad now. I've seemed to have cooled the greenhouse right down. Even on the hotter days, I've still got new growth coming up on some of these. And hopefully now I'll be able to save the rest of these MAsdevallias. If we look at this one, as you can see, it's got quite a few flower spikes coming up. They'll be open in the next couple of weeks if I can keep the humidity and the temperature right. But there's still a few scorch marks on a few. I've recently put them back up now from the lower shelves, put them back onto the top shelf. But as I said, the temperature and the humidity I've now controlled a lot better. So I hope everybody else who's growing orchids and MAsdevallias haven't suffered like I've suffered, because it's disheartening to say the least when you see your orchids or your plants deteriorating because of probably your fault, not the heat. I mean, this time last year I had no problem whatsoever. Both ram foggers was working, I had 3 fans working, I had the same shade netting, I had the same shade cloth. Everything was the same, and I didn't have half as much of this problem. But this year we've had that much heat, and it's really hit me, and it's knocked me back. And when we all say we try to do the best we can for us orchids, I clearly hadn't done enough, because I certainly wasn't prepared for the heat that we've had. So most of these aren't looking too bad now, and I mean, I've got things up and running a lot better than I did before. If I look quickly at my Mastodon, that's doing fine. A Dracula that did have a spike on, spike's obviously blasted too hot, that's been down on the ground. My Acacia, I had it potted in upside down in a pot because it's a pendula. MAsdevallia, and unfortunately, as you can see, it's getting very dehydrated, so I've remounted it onto a cork bark to help to get some moisture to them roots. Well, when I was saying that I was struggling, I was really running out of water, and another local grower, I spoke to him on the phone. I told him that I was on my last barrel of rainwater, I've got about half a barrel left, and lo and behold, he said, can you meet me at junction 26 on Saturday morning of the M1? I said, I can, Paul, why? He said, I'm going to give you some RO water. So I went to junction 26, met him, and lo and behold, he brought me these three bottles of RO water. I offered to take the bottles back to him. He said, keep them, Mick, because when you get your system up and running, you'll need something to put your RO water in. And I appreciate that, Paul, thank you very much. Well, what did I do? I've put in a 5-stage RO system. It's not fully plumbed in yet, I've still got to decide where all the wire's going, but I've fitted it, I've got the external pipe on, I've got the incoming water. I'm just deciding where to keep and where to store my RO water. I don't really want to store it too long, I want to make it every so often so I've got enough to survive. But there it is, you can see it now, 5-stage RO system up and running. And another thing I purchased, let's have a quick look around, another thing that I purchased was a fogger. It cost me a few quid, the fogger, well, just over 200 quid. It's on at the moment, so I'll let you have a look. I bought an HR 15 fogger, 1.5 litres an hour, and it really has increased the humidity in this greenhouse. I can't fault it. It's a cracking piece of kit. I've got it filling off, I've even brought in a water butt which feeds it. Water butt's 100 litres in there, and that feeds it straight into the HR15. So another piece of kit that I've had to purchase to make sure I don't lose any more MAsdevallias. And the final note that I'd like to share with you is, a couple of weeks ago, a lady I buy my MAsdevallias off, Lynn, phoned me up and said, Mick, I've got a couple of divisions that was on your wish list. Do you want to come and pick them up? I said, Lynn, I'll come and pay for them, but would you keep them until I can sort out my temperature in my greenhouse? I'm really struggling this last few weeks. She said, well, I don't know if it's any good to you, but in my garage we've got an air conditioning unit that we used to have. Well, they used to own a flower shop, a florist. We used to have it in this shop, but I think my husband said the pipe was missing. So I went to have a look, and lo and behold, an air conditioning unit, and the pipe that was missing was the vent pipe. And when we tried it in our garage, everything worked fine. You can actually connect an hose pipe to it and it fills the tank up with water. It's got an LED display that tells you when the tank needs refilling. It can do cool air. It's a fan. Well, we can have a look what it is. And it really does cool this greenhouse down. So before I finish off with this video, I'll switch it on and let you just see and hear it going. I mean, it cools right down to 16 degrees C. It can actually mist as well if I connect it up to the water, and even in the winter it can act as an heater. She had it wall mounted, but it didn't have the vent pipe, and whilst we was in her garage looking at it, I noticed it was chucking cool air out at the front, but at the back it was red hot. So I decided I needed to get some ducting. So I got some ducting. I bought an external air vent, fixed it all on, put an hole in the polycarbonate greenhouse at the back so that fumes are exhaust, and it works perfect. So just a quick tour. I hope none of you suffered like I've suffered, I really do. But think to yourself if you have. I mean, I was under the impression because of last year I had everything right. Now MAsdevallia's no problem last year. This year, excessive heat, and look at the problems it brought me. And I wasn't prepared. I wasn't prepared for this heat. So a lot of this is down to me not being ready. But now I've got it back up, I shouldn't have a problem. Hopefully we should work fine now. Well, I'll leave it at that. I don't think there's anything else to show you at the moment. The sun is out. Well, let's just have a look at the temperature in here at the moment. Right, it's saying 27 degrees C, 78% humidity, which for me is fantastic because there's no way I got that last time. This shelf here, just my grandkids are growing some Venus flytraps and a couple of other carnivorous plants. My sphagnum moss took a bit of a hit, but it's coming back green now, and my cultivated sphagnum moss, you can see that's coming back green now as well. But I really do emphasise on your humidity in these greenhouses. You're growing outside, you've got nobody else can help them. You've got to do it yourself. And for what it's cost me, I've had to do it. It's my hobby. I do these films. I like to do some filming so you can all see them. And that's all I can say. But yeah, everything now is back on track. So while we're back doing the videos, if you've enjoyed the video and you do like MAsdevallias, please subscribe to my channel. Give us a thumbs up. I've always said give us a thumbs down if you're not interested. But please, leave any comments you want. I'll always respond to you. I won't get back straight away, but I will get back to you as soon as I can. And hopefully some of these MAsdevallias, especially the striatella, will be producing bloom spikes in the near future. So until I see you next time, goodbye. Thanks for watching. Thanks all to the new subscribers who's joined this channel. I really appreciate you. And see you next time. Bye for now. So like I said, let's just switch it back on so you can actually see it working. It'll make a bit of noise, but it's a cracking piece of kit. And thank you very much, Lynn. Much appreciated, and it's really helped me out. Catch you later. Bye.